All right, it's like now.
Okay.
All right, welcome everyone to this class. It's a class actually because it's a place to learn. So today we're talking of professional ways to apply for jobs. Compared to the recruiting team sometimes. And there are times I ask people, I send link or I send a job, um an available job out there, and mostly teachers, and then you ask them to apply, send their CV and all that. And then some of the things I see, it can be really, really like amazing. Amazing, like I mean, you won't even believe some of the write-up. And now that we have AI, though it's I know that AI is here to help us in our different works. AI is here to help us achieve better results, but some people actually misuse it. Like they don't impute anything; they just focus on the AI, and you will literally know that this was copy and paste. So it's really alarming to see such things. So that, I know you are a professional when it comes to applying for job, because I've been in one of your class where you taught how to apply for job, writing CV, and a whole lot. So when I thought who will really do something for teachers out there, I knew you would do a great job, sir.
It's a pleasure being here. Thank you for hosting me.
You're welcome. Okay. So I think the floor is actually open to you. Like, major things we want to hear is some of the mistakes we make, especially teachers, because this is actually a platform for teachers. Some of the mistakes that most teachers do in applying for jobs, in writing their CVs, submitting, writing the what's it called, the application outline and all that. So there are a lot of mistakes they make, and what are the ways we can amend it?
Okay, I think this is actually very timely. Schools will be going on holidays soon, and people would actually be applying for jobs. So the first mistake people make is to wait for schools to go on holiday before you start applying for jobs. Schools that know what they want to do would say teachers should give like a month's notice before they resign or before they leave. So all things being equal, schools should be out on holiday by mid July, end July at most. So by now, most schools, serious schools, would know that a certain teacher is going, and they would already start looking for how to replace that teacher. A wise teacher would already start applying for job. In short, I know of teachers that have already gotten new jobs for September because they started applying early. So if you can apply early, that's the first mistake people make. Some people even go on holiday, and when holiday is almost over, they now remember that, oh, I'm going back to a job that I don't really like. I need to apply for a new job. So the mistake there is you're applying very late to a job that already knows that they have an opening. So one thing you need to know is schools actually have a database of CVs. People have sent CVs over the years, and most HRs already have at least 100 CVs lying down there. I used to be in charge of a small school in Niger State, that very local kind of small school, and on a very regular day, I have 50 CVs lying there. They have been there for over a year. and I
Mm.
can easily just pick one and call somebody to come. So you want to send your CV early so that they don't have to go stress themselves trying to pick it out from where it has been. That's one good thing you have
Yeah.
to know. So by now, if you're sending your CV now, you're almost late, but better late than never. Start sending out your CVs early to schools. The second thing people make is they use AI, just as you mentioned earlier, to do their CV. AI is even better off than people that use online templates. So there's already a template. You just change the name, change your phone number, and come on, guys. Now there's a probability that every other person is going to use those same templates, and it's just going to be there. And it's they always do a shabby job. These are computers. You're not meant to just change. You're meant to actually adapt it to suit what you want. But most people I know would always just change the name, change the address, just personalize it, and just no. That's wrong. I feel it should just be a Microsoft Word document, your name, your professional summary. So, I'll just go randomly. I have a very long note here. I'll just randomly pick those things and say them as they come. So you see somebody with 2 years experience, 3 years experience, and even 10 years experience saying on the professional summary you're saying, or you now have career, it's now called, there's this name they call it, objective. And your objective is to get a job in a dynamic organization that helps you. That doesn't say anything about you. Your professional summary should be selling you on your CV. Your professional summary should be selling you. So you should have two, three sentences selling you. For example, I would say I am an experienced special education needs teacher with 15 years experience in making helping students with neurodivergent students in blah blah blah. You see, I'm already telling you what I can do, what I have, what I am bringing to the table. You're not thinking twice. From those few sentences, you would know that I have 15 years experience. I'm a special needs teacher. I handle children with autism, Down syndrome, this, that, and this is how I do my job. In 3 sentences, I can say all those things and put it at the top. That's my professional summary. Instead of saying to be part of a dynamic organization, see all those funny things people do. It's a very funny thing. And I feel I'll personally not give anybody a job if that's what your CV looks like. It's a very lazy way to hustle for a job. I used to say you cannot be broke and, pardon my language, foolish. You need a job that would pay you
You
well,
mean,
and you're not
let
wise.
me
Go ahead.
Yeah, let me say something. You know, the one of using templates. I've actually never thought
Yes,
of that. But I get your point now, because if everyone submit a CV and all of them are just the same template, you will suspect something, right? As a recruiter.
exactly.
But I've never imagined it that way. But I think now I think differently.
Yeah, everybody, you would see it the same. At most, you see people changing the name, the maybe the color or something, and putting one picture there, one passport. What's that? You don't need that. You don't need those things. Explain, sell yourself. Your CV is a first impression. It's like you're going to ask a girl out, and then you're wearing bathroom slippers, you have body odor. Even if you have $20 million in your account, nobody gets to see it. Your first impression matters, right? So you have to
Mm,
dress well, spray your perfume, come out smelling nice, come out looking good. Now, the thing is, your CV is that first impression. You understand? If your employer sees your CV, from your CV, they already know how much they want to pay you. They already know if you can do the job, and if they call you, they know where to put you. So you want to give a really good first impression. So I was saying you cannot be broke and foolish. You cannot be broke and lazy. You cannot be broke and unwise. So how would you be broke and not know what it takes to go online and find a really good CV and make it look good? Do you understand? You cannot say you are broke
yeah.
and You don't have the sense to go and Google it. If you come to meet me now for CV, I'll ask you to pay 10,000 naira. You don't have that money. Why not go online? Because I'll practically just go online and find something and tailor it to suit what you already have. That's what I do. I don't really come up with these things from my head if you pay me to do your CV. So why can't you just go online and do it? You get the point. So
Yeah.
that being said, let me back up a little and say your email address should be professional. Your email address should be a professional one. For example, why is your email address chichiforjesus@gmail.com? Are you applying to a church? Or chichi sexy baby at what is that? Or tunde lala at what is that? Are you applying to a mechanic shop? You get it should have your name. If your name is a common one, your surname. If that still doesn't work, add one or two numbers to it. Angel Ayin 1234 at gmail.com. Perfect. I would not advise anybody to use Yahoo or Hotmail, or there's this one I used to use when I was in secondary school, Rocket Mail. It doesn't make sense. We are in 2024. If it's not Gmail, it doesn't make. It shows you are not even up to date with the technology of our time, because nobody gets to. Yeah, I can see your comments, Mr. Abdulatif. I can see your comments, and I really love your comments. It's keeping me going, actually. All right, so um yes, so you don't want to have an email that already shows that disqualifies you before you even apply for the job. You don't want to do that. So please, your name, your surname. I even have an email called teacherinnocentwaziri@gmail.com. Period. Put the name teacher, because I noticed there's innocentwaziri@gmail.com. Somebody has taken that. There's Waziri Innocent. Somebody took that. I was using waziri411@gmail.com. One day I went for an interview and somebody said, "Is it 419?" We laughed over it. We laughed over it, and but then it stuck. Maybe somebody else would have thought of it and not even had the impression to even call or ask me. Maybe 411 is now 419, and they've thought of it and just dropped the CV aside. Little things get because I am going through 100 CV, and then I don't want a situation where whatever I see, I just drop it aside. If I have 100 CV to go through, I will just drop it aside if I see something that doesn't make sense. Okay. All right. Mr. Abdulatif is
Mm-hmm.
asking if his email address is professional enough. Um, what's the email address? Can you drop it? Let's see. Just drop it on the comment section and I'll let you know if it's professional enough. All right. So I'll just go ahead before you drop that. Now you're not supposed to have a generic CV. You're not supposed to have a generic CV. I believe CVs should be tailored to specific job openings. So there's a job opening for a class teacher. You can teach any all those basic subjects in primary school, maths, English, science, those basic things. You should have a general CV for class teacher. Though there are schools that are now subject based. They have a teacher for maths, you teach maths maybe from primary 1 to 3, a teacher for English, you teach English from primary 1 to 4, like that. You can now have you want to specialize now. You have another CV for maths. So a professional maths teacher with over 7 years, da da da. All your experience in all the schools you've worked in, maths teacher. In short, the last one, if you have up to 5 years experience, you are HOD maths. Now, I would want to say this. I don't know how people would see it, but I do this a lot and it has worked for me. If you have an unofficial position, make it official on your CV. If you have an unofficial position, make it official on your CV. For example, in my job, I am the class assistant, but then the class teacher left the job and they asked me to unofficially fill in the space of a class teacher. I don't need anybody to give me a special letter to say I am a class teacher. I would go and put it on my CV that I have started class teacher work. Oh, they've promoted me. Oh, HOD travel. They now say fill in the space for HOD. Me, I am now acting HOD. It has entered my CV already. I don't wait for somebody to make it official. If I am doing the job, I have the position. So feel free to think as far as it works for you and say, okay, this position, I held this position sometimes back. I was a club coordinator. Nobody said it, but I was coordinating club. I'll put it, I am the club coordinator. That might be a plus for
Wow.
you because most schools want somebody to do club
Wow.
activities. Yes. So do not wait for somebody to give you an official position. If you've done that job and you are capable of doing it, please put it on your CV. Okay. I moved from doing a job of 50,000 naira to a job of 125,000 naira because of this same thing. I started doing a job. When I was doing the job, they were contract staff in the school. They pay us 50K to shadow children with autism and the rest and work with them around, help them with their notes, help them with their learning and all. And then there was a position for the head of SEN. I was like, okay, what have I been doing in this 50K job that would help me get that position? And I had to arrange my CV and say, okay, I've been coordinating my colleagues. I've done 1 or 2 trainings for them. So I'm a professional trainer. I train teachers. I do this, I do that. I applied for the job. I got it because they needed somebody that could train teachers. They needed somebody that could organize a department. I was already doing those things unofficially. So I put it on my CV. I went for the interview. I could defend it. I went there. I got it. In short, when I was going, I told my boss, I am going. No, yes, your experience from your teaching practice, please add. Every experience that helps you. Then as you grow older, you have to drop the experience below you. So like me, I don't have my NYC experience, I don't have my teaching practice, I don't have my IT. But if you're just graduating, your teaching experience is a very beautiful experience. Put it there and explain it properly. Don't just say I teach children, I solve maths. No, they are professional terms to you. Now, that brings me to the next point. If you're a football fan, you need to know basic languages, right? Like throw in, corner, free kick, hat trick. He scored an own goal. You cannot just say he scored himself. The ball don't cross line. Now, this same thing applies to every job you're applying for or every profession. There are professional terms you would use in every profession. An accountant will not just say, I pay salary. Imagine you pick up an accountant's CV and his job description, I pay salary, I give people money to go to market, I I share money, I collect change. It doesn't make sense, right? There are professional terms for those same job. Disbursing funds and making sure the account is balanced. Now, the same thing we just talk, different language. Same thing as a teacher. I saw a CV today on one of my WhatsApp group. I've been going through people's CV, and one person's CV was like, "I teach children, I communicate with parents." No, there are professional ways to. I carry out. Let me see if I can come up with something. I carry out. I organize lessons. There's a way you can put it, and my head cannot really come up with one now. I would have to just check maybe my CV or something. But there are professional terms for these jobs. Find those professional terms and use. Don't be basic. Don't be basic. Okay? If you're looking for a job, I would know a person that I would pay 200,000 for a job from his CV because he would use professional terms. He would know what is happening in his field. I differentiate learning to help diverse learners meet their learning goals. I differentiate learning to help diverse learners meet their learning goals. It is the same thing as saying, I will just make my lesson simple for those that do not understand it and then increase the workload for those that have understood it so that they can get better, they can have more knowledge. But I've used professional terms. I
English is the
differentiate learning
difference. Yeah.
to help. Exactly. So know the professional terms to use in applying in writing your CV. Okay. Um, I think basically you just have to know how. Don't apply for a job without a cover letter. So when you're sending a job out, a CV out, Even if they don't ask for it, you're sending your CV. Have a cover letter you just put on that email and say, "Yes, sir, kindly find attach my CV. I am a professional this with some experience and da 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 da." Have those things and just put it there and attach your CV. Please find attach my CV for your perusal. Feel free to reach out to me. Those things already done, they sell your market. These things
Mm.
are, see, I was very broke. I used to be very, very broke. Like I was trekking from school. I remember one day I printed my CV. I had over 50 CVs, and I went from Maitama. I remember trekking
Wow.
from Wuse to, if you understand Abuja, I trekked from Wuse to Maitama, and I submitted over 30 CVs on that very day. I was trekking for over 4 hours from school to school to school to school to school. I was using Google Map, schools in Wuse, Maitama, Wuse 2. I would go from one place because I didn't even have the money to be taking drop. And you know Abuja is, there's no bike that will take you quickly and give collect 15 naira. No keke na pep. So I will just trek, okay, it's just down the road. When you drop here, you trek, enter here. There's another school just here. You branch. Before you know, another school down here. You use Google Map. And I was trekking those trek. But one day I sat down, like, how far can I trek in this life? I did that for Apo, dropped at Apo Bridge, trek into up to Funtaj, past Apo Mechanic. No, not Mechanic, NEPA. And I kept going inside up to Funtaj and most their schools in that place. I was trekking. I trekked in, trekked out, branch, branch, branch. I was using Google Map and I submitted my CVs. I had over 50 CVs and I submitted everything. Over 30 at Metama and Wuse 2. I went to Apo. From Apo, I branch, enter Gariki, and I submitted all those things. But now this brings me to my next point. Those things are not sustainable. Remember, I said you cannot be broke and foolish. I was very foolish.
Mm.
I think I fell sick. Now, what do? Go online. If I was using Google Map, I could have just sat down and say schools in Wuse to Abuja, right? And then I will go on their website, get their email
Yeah.
address, and send them my CV one by one. I did that,
Exactly.
and I promise you, I sent my CV to over 150 schools. I didn't have a job. 2 weeks later, I started having 2 interviews daily. So this brings me to my next point. Go online. Find schools online. Don't wait for them to post adverts. Remember, I started by saying most schools already have CVs lying down. They will just call. Not all schools post adverts. They'll just pick one and call the person. So why not put your CV there in their face? Sometimes they don't even have an opening, but they see your CV. Remember, I've told you what you need to do, right? If your CV is fine, they see your CV and they'll be like, oh, this guy is so hot. We need him. First impression matters. So they pick up your CV and they fall in love with you immediately. Send out your CV to them and they will pick it up and love you and call you. As they're calling you, you're not even the one doing shakara and saying, I'm sorry, I'm not really open for a job, but then can I just come in and let's have a chat? I have never gone for an interview and it was like an interview. We basically just go and talk. Because there's so much on my CV, you want to know what's there, and I'm schooling you.
Mm.
There's so much on my CV that when I get there, you'll be asking questions. And, this is how I did it. I have lots of professional development from universities abroad. I do those things, and just for the sake of it, I'll go to your school and tell you, oh, I did this training for $50. And so you are not thinking, this teacher, they do training $50. Now, 20K 1 p.m. Please tell me. And those things, I did them free. There are lots of trainings online. So then you just chip it in. You have to be smart. So they're like, oh, so this training, oh, what is it about? You did this training from University of Southampton. You say, okay, so I did that training for $50 online 2 years ago. And then, so you just say that time dollar was actually cheap, so it was roughly 40,000 naira. And then the training is about this. They will now think twice. Somebody's doing training $50. How much you want pay them? Nobody will price you 40,000 at the end of that interview. Do you understand? You just have to be wise. Do those trainings, and when you go there, show yourself. You're already a smart teacher. You know
Yeah.
your job, you know your onion, but you don't know how to sell yourself. So
So,
teachers should
so
start
let
seeing
me let
themselves as
me
entrepreneurs.
let me interrupt you a bit. I actually, when I got when I started teaching, I did not have any degree. I started teaching when I was 17. Can you hear me?
Wow. Loud and clear. I can hear you. Okay, guys, can you hear us? I think we lost you. You're back, right? I can hear you now.
Okay, sorry, my network
Miss Angel,
glitching.
I can hear you. Welcome
Yeah,
back.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
So I was saying
Okay,
I
go
started
ahead. You were
teaching when
telling
I
us
was
about
17.
how you said,
Yeah, I started
wow.
teaching when I was 17. Then I decided because I didn't actually have anyone to train me in school, but I knew I wanted to go far in life actually. So I wanted to go back to school. Then I started schooling, doing a part-time program. But the summary of it was that is that the summary of it is that when I first got a job that paid me up to 200K, I had no degree. All I wrote in my CV was just online courses. I what I was using to get jobs was diploma in educational psychology, which and diploma in mathematics, which I got the certificate. I don't know if you lost me. My network is really glitching.
No, no, no. I still have you. We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
I
So
can hear you. Go ahead.
yeah, okay. So all I used to get jobs was diploma in educational psychology and diploma in mathematics, which I got from Allison platform.
Wow. Wow.
And that's the
Can
thing. The
you can
thing
you
is
guys hear that? And that's a big package.
the
That's
thing is
good.
if you want to grow, you will grow. If you really want to grow, there are platforms out there that are ready to help you grow and excel. The thing it's now on you if you want to.
Exactly. I remember just like you, so I had a degree in biochemistry. And then as a special needs teacher, I just knew that I can't find my place here with this degree. So what I did was I just went online and started looking for online courses. And I did online courses from University of Southampton, University of Cape Town, University of Colorado. I needed those names to show on my CV so that you will not look at
And no
my
one will know you did them
degree in
online.
biochemistry and judge me from there. I will not put anything online. I'll just put University of Southampton, understanding children with special needs. University of Colorado, University of Queensland, Australia. When I come out, you will not come and prize me now. You will not be pricing me chinkly money. Guys, see, there is money in education. If schools can collect ₦1 million per term as school fees, they can pay a teacher 500,000. I have colleagues that earn 700,000. They'll pay them, they'll give them housing allowance, give them health insurance. Give. I don't know why teachers are saying they are broke. If I can come and start
Really?
all over again, I will be a teacher. I'll be a teacher. Do you know what
Exactly.
teachers make? If I can start all over again, I will be a teacher. I would go back and study something and keep. Come on, teachers make money. Imagine somebody, okay, imagine with less than 10 years experience and you're already making 500,000 naira as a teacher. Where would you get that anywhere in Nigeria? Not in the bank, not even as a doctor. You would not get that as a medical doctor. And then you go to work in the morning, close by 4 and go home like every other person. You have your weekends to yourself. You have holidays. You have, come on, guys. Teaching is beautiful. If you know how to sell yourself, if you know what you're doing, you would be glad you studied education. I promise you, you'll be glad you studied it. Education is a beautiful. What? People are collecting ₦1 million school fees. What? Then you now go as a teacher and be collecting 70,000. Why? Are you not thinking? See, let me explain this. Teachers are entrepreneurs. Start seeing yourself as a business person. So I would always divide my salary by 30 days and say if I pay my transport and then take out my rent, divide your rent by 365 days too. And then transport daily, feeding daily, and rent, and see what is left. As a business person, would you go out and work morning till night and come back with 500 naira gain? But teachers do that. As an entrepreneur, you start thinking, how do I get better, right? So we should start thinking about it like that. I will not go to a school and work, and then it cannot pay my rent, it cannot feed me. What will I send to my mother? What will I send to my father? How will I treat myself if I fall sick? And all those stuff. So teachers should start being entrepreneurs. Start thinking like a business person. Calculate your rent, calculate your transport, calculate your feeding, and then see if the job is profitable. If it's not, move to the next place. They're always looking for teachers. Teachers are everywhere. You know how there are churches and mosques every corner in Nigeria. Schools are like that. I think schools are even more than churches and mosques combined. So package yourself well and you will get it. All right, let me move on. Hmm. Now, after,
I
let's say
wanted
you
to
go
say
for an interview,
something.
right? After the, okay, go ahead, please.
I was thinking that major thing teachers need in Nigeria is mindset shift. Like we
Yeah.
need a new reorientation. Like we need to redefine this educational system. We need to redefine this teaching career and make people know that being a teacher is actually worth it. Because most times when I go out and people ask me, what, what do you do? The teacher, they, okay, the teachers that like they just look at you one teacher, not really anymore. But if we find it within ourselves,
Yes. See, teachers need to have a mindset shift. I guess that's why I started talking online, because personally I'll just move on with my life, grow and move. But I realized that these tips, if you know what you're doing, see, there are rich teachers, just like there are rich doctors, there are poor doctors. So funny enough, I was in medical school, right? And I was studying medicine. At some point I dropped out because I wasn't smart enough, because they needed me to read so much book, and I wasn't that kind of person. Now, so I have medical friends that are doing well in their field. They are even as big as registrars. So if you know what it means, so you be a registrar, you have to go from junior reg to senior reg, then you become a consultant. So they are close to being consultants. The guys I studied with, most of them are close to being consultants in big hospitals like Gariki Hospital in Abuja, different hospitals. I have a friend at the teaching hospital in um, Jos and different places. Now, you'll be shocked that these guys do not earn more than 350K, 400,000 at most. I doubt I've seen any of them that earn up to 400K in the hospital. They pay 250, they earn 250, 300 at most. And these are people that have studied for 7 years in school. They've gone for housemanship. They have to write exam every year for every. Come on, guys. As a teacher, you just have to be moving from one school to another, be upgrading yourself, do small, small online courses. After 2 hours, you collect certificate, slap it on your CV, and you've gotten that money. I promise you, it's not that hard. Be a specialist. It's not that hard. You earn money. See, if you're in a village that do not pay well, move. See, I don't understand. Why do people say they want to jackpot to abroad, and then you cannot jackpot from from Ikotu? I don't know if there's a place called okay, from Oshogbo to Lagos. You cannot jackpot from Kaduna to Abuja. You are waiting to jackpot to UK. Start the basic one first. Start your basic jackpot and jackpot from Kaduna, go to Abuja. Go from Lafia, come back to Abuja, or go to Port Harcourt. Go to places that pay well. Don't you people want to earn money? So why are you staying in Oshogbo, where they are paying teachers 35,000, and you feel you have to? This is the place they planted your placenta. This is the place they've planted your kidney. If you cannot move out of here, your destiny is tied to this 35,000 naira school. See, guys, I promise you, don't use passion to tie yourself down in a school that will not pay you well. You can be passionate in a school that pays you 400,000. And as you're leaving that job, somebody else will take it. So give those people space to also grow. Move. Don't stay in a place because you feel you are passionate. No. Change your mindset. You can be passionate in a rich school. You can be passionate in a Jeep. You can be driving Jeep and be passionate. Do you understand? You can be passionate and be doing things. I was doing a live call like this, and somebody said, "Oh, you even have art in your house." So he saw this art behind me. I was like, "Oh, you have art in your house. Teachers do not have art." And I'm thinking, this is not a big deal. It's just art. You just buy it on the roadside and come and hang it in your house. But he has a point. He has a point. Because teachers do not want to grow. Teachers just feel they should remain in, or your reward is in heaven. Wow. Please, you can enjoy your reward here on earth and go to heaven and enjoy. There are rich doctors, there are poor doctors. There are rich bankers, there are poor bankers. There are rich lawyers. I know a lawyer that is in 50K job. She went to law school, she graduated well. She's doing 50K job. The same thing. There are rich teachers, there are broke teachers. Do not be a broke teacher. Every profession has the rich one and the broke one. Even politicians, there are rich politicians and broke politicians. It's the broke one they used to send to the street to go and steal ballot box. The rich one come afterwards. Just don't be the broke one, please. All right. Now, after an interview, this is something I usually do. You just send an email to them and say, "Dear Mr. D," so you would have known their name. Always try to know people's name. Ask question during your interview. Don't go for an interview and after everything, yes, sir, and you go, no. It makes you look like you're desperate. Ask questions. So when you go for an interview, questions like, is this a new position or somebody was here before me? If they say it's a new position,
Wow.
okay, what are your expectations in this job? It's not because you don't know what they want. It's just so that they know that you're not desperate. You want to
Mm.
put them in the position they've put you. They've been asking you questions, right? Ask them questions. So, what are my expectations outside teaching and learning? Because we all know, okay, as a teacher, I would teach kids. But then, what are other expectations you would have of me if I eventually get this job? Let them start thinking. They've never thought of it like that. Let them start telling you. You'll start knowing if the school is a toxic place from DSF. Okay, thank you very much for this. I really like the culture. What are your school culture? Ask them those questions and sit down and watch them stammer. You say, put them in one corner. What are your culture in this school? It's not because you want to know those things, you don't really care. But then you want a situation where you are confident enough and you're making them understand that I stammered 10 minutes ago when you were asking me questions. It's not because I don't know what I'm saying, it's because I'm tense. Let me just make you understand that you can also be tense. Do you understand? They would ask you, "Do you have any question?" Tell them yes. If they don't ask you and they say, "Okay, thank you very much," you say, "Sorry, please, I have some questions if you don't mind."
I don't think I've done
Take
that
take over
before.
the
Like,
seats.
like asking questions
Come
during
on, try it
interview.
and you'll be glad you did. I
Yeah, I'm
love
glad
seeing
I'm
them
getting
panic
that
because
insight.
they're like the bosses and the god. Yes. Ask question and say, "Sorry, what are
Mm,
the culture as an organization? What are your organizational culture?" Most real organization, like where I work, we have cultures like fail fast and fail forward and fail while learning. So they give you the room to fail. They believe you cannot get it in one hand. Learn, but you have
mm,
to try things and fail fast and fail forward. They have things like empathy, all those. So they would list all those stuff for you. All right. When you're done with that, another thing. So I remember the first question. Okay, somebody was handling this role before and he left. What made him leave? Ask them that question. What made the person handling this role leave? If they say it's a new role, oh, great. What are your expectations, right? So, what made the other person leave? And if they say, oh, I like that, Mr. Abdulatif. Play return leg. Stress them. He said, do me, I do you something. Let them know that, okay, this is not the kind of person that you push around. So before they employ you, they already know the kind of person they want to shout out. You know, if you've worked in a school where they shout at teacher, there are teachers they will never shout at. Now from interview they know.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Now from interview they know teachers where they know they shout for. Okay. When you've asked them, so what made that teacher leave? And they sack him. Why did you sack him? What did he do? Sorry, don't I'm not really being pokey, but then I just really want to know. These are things I would really want to consider. I'm sure you would want to do the same. They'll say, and you see them panicking and lying. You will know it's a lie. You say, oh, thank you very much. Ask those questions. Okay. What are the ways I would grow professionally here? Or what are your expectations for my growth? Or what do you think? What are the metrics you've set for me to grow? If I come, will I just sit down? Those of you that in my group, you in my WhatsApp group, I mentioned something today that how would you be in a job since 2013 till now? You are just a class teacher, no growth. Even if they're adding your money, you show now that okay, 2013 to 2015, class teaching assistant, 2015 to something, class teacher, 20 something something, HOD, something something. You cannot be in a place for 9 years and you are just a class teacher 9 years. They swear for you. You've never handled
Exactly.
any
Why will
position.
you be in a school for 9 years? Like, are you the owner of the school?
You get. All right. Do not stay in a school. So this one is extra tip. This is you now growing. Do not stay in a school for more than 2 years if you're earning less than 200,000. Do not stay in a school for less than 2 years if you're earning less than 200,000. This is why. So if I get into a school and I'm paid 100,000, and they say okay, they would add my salary every 2 years and give me 20,000, which is most unlikely, very unlikely that you get that 20,000 naira. It will take 10 years for you to earn 200,000. 20, 20, 20, every 2 years, 20,000 they will add. At the end of 10 years, you start earning 200,000. However, if I'm in a school and I earn 100,000 and after 2 years I leave to the next place, I will not collect less than 150. And after 2 years I leave, I already have 200,000 in 4 years. If not more, if you can bargain well, you get more than that. Do you understand? But then if you stay
Yes.
in one school and they're adding 20,000 naira in the next 10 years, you would earn 200,000, but I would get 200,000 in 4 years. See, I would even move every year if I have to. I
Mm-hmm.
would move. If I'm earning less than 100K, move every year. You're earning 50,000, 60,000. Don't stay more than a year. As the school is ending, move to the next school.
You know,
Collect 80,000, move to the next. Any school that pays less than 100,000, go ahead.
yeah, there's this um I don't know how to put it, but there's this mindset that teachers should not be after money. Like, I saw a post on Facebook that says
Wow.
teachers teach um for the impact and not the outcome. No, teachers teach for the outcome and not the income. Like, teachers teach to give knowledge, and I'm like, excuse me, have I
Wow.
been living on water and sand all this while? Like, do I just go to market and tell
No,
them
when
that
you go to the market, tell them you're a teacher so that they'll give you teacher price. So that they'll
so
give you teacher price. Go and price
I just
tomato and tell them you're a teacher, they should give you teacher price.
I just believe our problem in
Ah,
Nigeria is a
you can see
mindset thing. Like, we just have a whole lot
it's a
of
mindset
mindset
thing because
thing.
yes, the proprietors and proprietaries already figured this thing long ago. It's just the teachers that don't have this sense. They're already charging a million naira school fees. There are schools that even charge
Yes,
in dollars. Come to
yes,
Abuja.
sure, I know.
ICS collects their school fees in dollars. American International School collects school fees in dollars, but pay you in naira. Why? And then you now go there and they now say they'll give you 200,000, you'll be jumping. What's 200,000? You are collecting school fees in dollars. Share Kogi State governor when he paid the school fees, it was in dollars. It was all over the internet. In that school. So when you now get a job in that school, they now say we'll pay you 300,000. You say 300. Oh God, you go and give testimony. Why? You should be
And
smart enough to do the maths and say at least 20% of what a child pays is what I'm collecting.
exactly, and these school owners, they know they're just taking advantage of us.
No, they're not taking advantage. We are not smart enough to also take advantage of them.
See, one
Okay,
the
a
last
friend of mine
place.
got a job in a school in Abuja around Uye. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I can.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, a friend of mine got a school and she's earning 700,000 with other allowances and bonuses here and there. 700. She's not the head of school. She's not the head of school.
Mm.
700K. However, she met people there that have spent 10 years collecting 350. 350, you stayed in
Serious.
a school for 10 years, they've increased your salary. But she just came in because she now has experience from different schools. So that's another reason why you move. You have plenty of experience, and when you come inside this person get experience, your CV will be big. You
Mm-hmm.
now go collect your money. So if you're waiting, if you are like the teachers that stay there and feel, oh, 350 is big, even in that same school, somebody's earning 100,000. But somebody is also coming to that same school because he's wise enough, he's now collecting 700,000. Some people will
Mm.
come and they'll negotiate their housing. So if they say, how much do you earn? Oh, yes, I earn 400,000, but then I get a million naira as my housing allowance and something, something, and health insurance. So if you're not going to give me health insurance, you're not going to price me 500,000. You start taking from 800 like that because you're not going to give me housing insurance, housing allowance of a
Mm-hmm.
million naira. You
Mm.
understand? So you have
Yeah.
to know how to balance it and say, okay, so what do you earn? You say, okay, I earn 70,000, but then I get health insurance and I'm paid 13th month salary. Just leave them to do the maths. Meanwhile, you are earning just 70,000. No, no all
Mm.
those bogwe. You get?
Yeah.
Ehen. All right. So let me round up with this. After your interview, send an email to your interviewer. Dear Mr. Kurukere, thank you for the nice time I thank you for the time. Thank you for having me in your school. Um, what else? I really learned a lot and about your school and their culture. Remember, you've asked questions, right?
Yeah.
I've learned a lot about your school, the culture, and the goals you have for your teachers, and I really look forward to being a part of this community. If there's anything you really want to know more, you can reach out to me via email or phone or my phone line. You drop your line. Thank you for the interview once more. Something. Just craft an email quickly. Don't do that immediately. Wait for like 4 hours thereabouts and send the email. Don't wait for it to be 24 hours later. Immediately you get home, send that email. In short, I used to have that thing saved somewhere. I'll be calculating 4 hours later, copy, paste, boom, send.
Mm.
Always do that. It leaves a lasting impression. Even if they've forgotten you, they come back to say, this person sent me email. Oh, I like him. Even if you messed up, they'll start reconsidering that, oh, this person paid attention to this. Find something unique about them. Find something unique about them and say, oh, thank you about I really love that your school has, remember, that's why you're asking questions. I really love how your school is this and da. I really like this about your school and I look forward to being a part of your community. Thank you so much and have a just blah blah blah. Looking forward to hearing from you again. That's all. Feel free to reach out to me. That's all. When you do that, go and sit down and see. I used to select job. There was a year I worked in 4 schools, like for the fun of it. I don't even put them on my CV. I don't even put those schools on my CV. But if I just join you and you are doing anyhow, there's another school waiting down the road. They've called me already. I'll just send an email.
Exactly.
Sorry, I'd like to take up the offer if it's still open. I did that thing at some point. I was now like, wow, so it worked. That was when I started coming online to teach teachers. So after I did that, I did it for my wife. Then we're still dating. I said, okay, So this is how I've gotten this job. Let's try it with you. We went online, we got those. So I already had those things on a document, those emails. I sent those CVs. She went for an interview, came back, sent email, follow up email. Bam, job. Wow, big job. 120K then. That was like 2019 before COVID. 120. Wow.
Oh,
Oh, my younger sister with her NC. I was like, okay, let's do this. It worked. So this is something that works. Then I started getting friends and families. Oh, you they look for work? No what? Come make I show you how you go get job. Send your CV, arrange your CV like this. Go online, do your CV like this. Send it out. When you go for interview, ask them questions. I promise you, this is a template that has worked over and over. I've mentored at least 40 teachers, and this worked. I
mm.
can call names and I tell you, I know teachers that have gone far and wide, and this works over and over and over and over again. So guys, go out, just give it a try. What's the worst case scenario? Nobody will call you. You send 100 CV, 10% call you. That's 10 schools. You go to 10 schools, and then 20% of that school call you. That's two. One, you get job out of those two. You cannot be dumb enough to send 100 CVs, and then you can't get one job out of them.
That means you need help.
All right. I think I've exhausted everything on my notes. Any question at this point?
um,
Mr. Abdulatif, I doubt I saw that your email address. You were saying you would want us to see if it's professional enough. But if you have questions, guys, go ahead and drop it.
I don't think anyone dropped a question. Okay. While we wait for questions, which I don't think, but actually, personally, I learned a lot. I haven't really been so serious in looking for job because I am still running a program in school and I teach online, so it's just a whole lot of my end. But I know that if I want to apply for job after this, oh God, no one will see my back anymore. And thank you so much for
You're
thank you so much
welcome. You're
for the
welcome.
insight. We are grateful. I believe every teacher that come across this will actually do well. So, what final words you have to say to teachers? Like, not something we can hang on our walls to remind us who we are and how better we can become.
Okay, final words for teachers. Uh,
No, I think your network
okay,
is weak.
sorry. I think I was mute.
Oh,
Yeah, I think I mute myself mistakenly. Okay, final words for teachers. Um, okay, send follow up. Yes, Mr. Abdulatif, it's from NYC. You start hustling job. From NYC, let me answer that question. From NYC, I would advise you to try to serve in a big school. Don't go to government schools. Don't go to small schools. So before you go for NYC, you should already reach out to schools and say, I am this, I am that. I would like to come serve in your schools. If you know teachers in schools, reach out to them and say, in those schools, reach out to them and say, I would like to serve in your school. How does it work? Because this is how it happens. This is where you start building your CV during your NYC. You already know you want to be a teacher. Brilliant. So you start building your CVs now, not tomorrow, not next year. So that school, you want to start from a big school because it only gets better. If you start from a school that we all know is down the road, one street there that pays 20,000 naira, your next job is likely going to be 70,000 naira if it's too big, and that would be a very big leap. That's me being very optimistic, right? But if you
mm-hmm.
start in a school that pays their teachers 150,000 naira, even though you are serving and they're paying you only 10,000 naira, or even if it's free, by the time you're going out, your mindset is based on the people that they pay 150. And you're going to anywhere you go, I'm coming from this school. They already have an idea of how much they pay. Schools know schools. If I tell you I'm coming from a certain school in Abuja, you already have an idea of how much they pay, right? So For example, if I say I work in Regent, you should know I earn nothing less than 350,000 naira. Regent is one of the best paying schools in Abuja. So if you go there and you don't even bargain well, if you don't bargain at all, they'll give you 250. So if you serve in that kind of school, for example, and you're going out, let's say they don't retain you. If they retain you, you'd collect at least that entry level fee, which is 150,000 naira, which is a good start. But if you now choose to go out to another school, you would go out as a teacher that was earning 150. You will not even put NYSC on your CV. You will just put that you're a class teacher. And then you go out and, oh, I worked in that school. They will start pricing you from that amount that those people collect in that school. So that's a better way to go into NYSC. Okay, Mr. Abdulatif, you already have experience in doing a lot, but you can chat me up privately and I'll just give you more tips on how to go about it. All right, last words for teachers. Do not settle for less.
Mm-hmm.
Do not settle for less. There are teachers that earn up to a millionaire. Yes, I was going through somebody's CV and the price they were going to give the teacher was a millionaire. I am not lying. Somebody's CV in Abuja is a very big school, and they're bringing the person from Lagos to come and head the school. The school fees is the salary is a millionaire. And if a person comes there and price and say, give me 1.5, I'm sure the school might consider, because the person leaving collects her money in dollars. She's a Yoruba woman. She's leaving the school for UK. And her salary was in dollars. They pay her about $4,000, but then 2,000 is in naira, 2,000 in USD, and she collects dollars, hard currency dollars. So she's going and they want to put a Nigerian in Nigeria for that job, and they are offering a million naira. So that person is coming and jumping million naira, and we already know that that's an underpayment because the person leaving was collecting $4,000. So guys, do not settle for less. I beg you. Go, give it your best shot. The best they can do is tell you we cannot pay. Ask them, what can you pay?
Mm-hmm.
I've gone for an interview and they said they'll pay 80,000 naira. Then I was already earning 125. So I was telling them to pay me 180. So they said they'll pay 80,000 naira. I was just laughing. The head of school was like, even me, I don't earn up to this. I said, okay, fine. I will recommend someone because I cannot go less than what I'm taking, no matter what. I can't even collect what I am collecting now. I have to go higher. And she was like, okay, please recommend. So the worst that can happen is for them to recommend someone else. If they're offering you peanut, tell them, oh, you know somebody else that would be glad to take this job. Call your friend that is fine with settling for less. Give the person the job and move on. Okay? Thank you, guys. All right, that's all from
All
me.
right. Thank you so much. Thanks so much, Tiny. Yeah, thank you so much. We would love to have you next time, but we'll keep in touch.
No problem. Feel free to reach out and I'll be glad to join.
All right. So,
Somebody
guys,
said, should there be a place of sentiments? Do not work with sentiments. Sentiments do not pay the bill. Sentiments do not pay the bill.
exactly.
Don't be sentimental. Follow the money. Follow the money. You would impact, see, even if you're working in a school where the children are all governors' children, you would be impacting them. You would impact those children. So
Mm-hmm.
if it's impact, go and impact rich children. Collect your salary. And help yourself. Help your parents. Help your children. Don't go and do passion and now be broke. If you want to do passion, go and do it in your church, do it in your mosque. Go to an orphanage with the money you've collected from your salary and go and help them. Dash them books, dash them things. That's passion. But collect the money and go and do passion. All right, guys, that's all from me. Thank you. Am I still online? I think Miss Angel. If you can still hear me, okay, I'm out. I think.
Okay, guys. So, we've come to the end of the meeting. So, don't forget to join our Smart Teachers group and also follow Mr. Innocent Waziri. He's actually a well trained teacher, and he's helping a lot of teachers achieve a lot. And also follow my page and subscribe to my channel. We have monthly meeting for teachers. Our aim is to see teachers become smart teachers, and see teachers do well, and see the teaching profession excel. So this is already a 1 hour meeting, and I'm glad you joined. And I know for sure you got impact, and you got a lot of insight to work with. I wish you the best in your teaching profession.